Hey everybody, I thought I would just do a really quick video today for fun. Um, do the teacher tag that everybody is really doing. Um, and it's only, well, I've seen people do different questions and things, and so I've kind of replaced a couple questions that I didn't want to discuss and added some in place. So there's 13 questions total, so we'll go ahead and get started. So number one says, how many years have you been teaching? So this should not be a complicated question, but it kind of is. So this quick and simple answer is 3 years. The complicated answer is I started teaching halfway through the middle of a year. Like I got hired at the beginning of spring semester. So technically, I've been teaching like less, like a half less, if that makes sense. So every time someone asks me, I'm always like, I don't know, 2.5, 3, 3.5, who knows? But 3 is my pretty solid answer. Number 2 says, what grades and classes have you taught? So I teach high school English, if you didn't know. And I have taught 10th and 11th and 12th grade English. I have never taught 9th graders, and I really don't want to, if I'm quite honest. I've taught all levels of those 3 classes, so inclusion, meaning the classes that have EC students and an EC teacher in there. I've taught honors, which is the other end of the spectrum. I have not taught AP because I am not AP certified. Which might be something that maybe happens in the future. And I've taught academic, which we consider academic classes to be the ones that are, it's not EC and it's not honors, it's just regular classes. I've also taught journalism. Number 3 says, what are you currently teaching? So my classes for the fall, for the fall and for the spring are either 12th grade or 10th grade English. So that'd be English 2 and English 4. And I'll have all 3 sections probably of inclusion, honors, academic. Okay, number 4 says, how many students are in your classes? So if we're going off of this past year, I actually had really small classes. So this past year, I had 2 English 4 classes, and they were both about 25. And then my English 2 class only had 20 kids in it, which if you're a teacher, you know that that's a crazy low number. That is not normal. In the past, which is the next question, number 5, what's been your biggest class? My biggest class was, I had a class that was English 2, so 10th grade, honors, and there was 35 kids in it. And it was gigantic. It felt like we had no room to move. My room is completely full of desks. Every time they turned something in, I was just like, oh, it was so overwhelming. And then on the other side of that, it says, what's been your smallest class? And my smallest class was, I had a 10th grade inclusion class, and I had a journalism class, not together, but they were like within the same year, and they only had 15 kids in it. And that one almost felt too small. I would say 20 to 25 is about the perfect number, which is the next question. What's your ideal class size? When you get less than 20 kids, it just feels like there's not enough people in the room. Like, you're like, where is everybody? And then if you have some absent, you have like 10 kids that day, and it just feels weird. Once you start to get 30 or more, then that's when it becomes just, if you have any grading to do, like if they're writing essays and things, it's just overwhelming. It's too much. Number 8 says, what is your favorite online resource? And I have a couple answers to these. So also really like Kahoot, which is something we use a lot at my school. Kahoot, if you don't know, is kind of like a quiz show for your kids, and they get to each use their own devices, because my school is a 1-to-1, which means each student has their own device, their own MacBook. So they all get to log in with their computer, and it's kind of like playing a quiz game, and they get immediate feedback whether they were right or wrong, and it makes for a fun way to review things. Grammarly, you might have seen ads for it online, but Grammarly is amazing, and it pretty much checks spelling, grammar, punctuation, all those kind of things, and you can install it as like an extension on like Chrome or something. And it will check all of that for you. Like if you're typing an email, like it will catch that you spelled it wrong. And you can also plug essays into it, and it will check those things really quick. So what I can do is, like, when my 12th graders write their big essay, I can take their paper, I can plug it into Grammarly. It gives them a sheet with everything they need to change and why they need to change it, which is really important. And I can send that back to them, and they can fix that before they even turn it in. I know some people might say, oh, well, isn't that your job? Well, they're 12th graders. Like, they know that there's supposed to be a comma here. They know there's supposed to be a period there. It's just, they've just missed it, or they've just forgotten. It's not that they don't know. So it saves me a lot of time, and it saves them too. My last favorite online resource would probably be Canvas, which, if you don't know about Canvas, I'll probably do a video on this later on, but it's a learning management system. So it's kind of like Blackboard that you use in college, where you upload all your assignments and things to it. And I use that with my kids, and it really is wonderful. 9 says, describe your perfect classroom. So I think the best answer for me to explain what I mean is for me to say that I would like to have multiple classrooms, because I think my main thing is I love to have different seating for different activities. So, for instance, sometimes we have class discussions, and we take pillows and we sit in a giant circle on the floor. The kids say we're having a seance. But we're just sitting on the floor to have a big discussion, and the kids are more comfortable and they're more willing to talk about things. But it makes it really difficult when my next class immediately comes in and they need the desks in rows because they're taking a test. So it would be nice if I had maybe multiple spaces where I could have the desks in rows, I could have them in groups, and then I could have no desks and we could sit in the floor. It's not really realistic, but I really do love my classroom. I have 2 giant windows. I pretty much can do what I want in my room. I'd love to have more alternative seating. I have a little bit, but I don't have a lot. And I would probably like to have lower lighting. If you teach, you know that fluorescent lights can kill you. And I have a lot of headaches, and I think it might be from some of the bright fluorescent lights. Okay, next one is number 10. What's your favorite part about teaching? So, for me, my favorite part about teaching is just interacting with the kids every single day and getting to see them go through their struggles and then grow out of them and fix them, and being able to talk to them about them. Also, once you have them as a 10th grader, then getting to see them graduate. This is the first year where I had kids that I had taught all 3 years graduate, and it was a big deal for me because I had seen them grow, and they also had seen me grow as a teacher. So just love laughing with the kids. They are hilarious, and yes, they drive me crazy, but for the most part, they are the reason why I like teaching. So number 11 says, what's your favorite thing to teach? My favorite thing to teach is American Lit, which is 11th grade for us, so English 3. I just love all the content and all the literature that comes with American Lit. I love doing the Crucible. I love all the American poets and being able to do Maya Angelou and all those people. I'm starting to like 10th grade English a little more, which sounds terrible. When I first started, the textbook that we have for English 2, which is World Lit, it's full of really difficult texts like the Epic of Gilgamesh. And if you have an inclusion English 2 class, of like 15-year-olds. They do not understand the Epic of Gilgamesh. And so it's really difficult. But I found some good texts now. I don't really use the textbook anymore, and I'm starting to like it a little bit more now that I've found some things that work for me. My other favorite thing to teach is writing. I really love teaching the kids about writing and grading their writing and conferencing with them, and especially when they do personal narratives, I get to read their stories. They get to do a little creative writing. That's always fun. Okay, number 12 says, what's your least favorite thing to teach? Journalism. I taught journalism 2 semesters. The reason I had to teach it was because I took over for a teacher that had to leave, and they were supposed to be teaching it, and I inherited their classes. And so they were like, okay, you're going to teach journalism. And I said, okay, I can do it. And I did have someone at the school who was wonderful and helped me and gave me all their resources and things for it. And I had a really good class. It was still not fun to me. And I guess it was just because I wasn't very confident with what I was teaching. I felt like I didn't even know what I was talking about, and I'm trying to teach them when I didn't even know about it. And so then the second semester, it should have been better, but to me it was worse. I had a class that got mad because they had to write in journalism. They were like, I thought we were going to take pictures. I'm like, yeah, well, that's part of it. But we did writing assignments and they just would not do them. And so I ended up giving a lot of zeros, and it made me really not want to teach journalism anymore. So I gave it up, and it's definitely still my least favorite thing to teach. I guess in terms of just like English content, I really don't like teaching grammar. I can do it and I can make it fun, but it's still, you guys know, it's not very fun, and it's really hard to do it without doing like worksheets, and I really hate just giving out worksheets. And then the last question is number 13, and it is, what is some advice that you would give to a beginning teacher, someone who's thinking about going into teaching, or someone who is already teaching? You should not be afraid to take advice from other people. And if you think that that advice is wrong, then you don't follow it. But it's always good to have other options and to talk it out with other people. And that can be other people at your school. That can be other teachers. That can be people that used to be teachers. Take advice from everybody. Listen to what everybody has to say, and then you make your own decision, because you're the only one that can decide. So that was the teacher tag. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Let me know if you are interested in any of the things I talked about. We might be able to pull some more videos out of those things. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to get more videos out. You can be on the lookout for towards the end of August. I will be able to get in my classroom, and I'll be able to set up, and I can do a classroom tour and some videos like that. So that'll be coming up towards the end of August, so be on the lookout for those. Okay, see you later. Bye.